One of our core messages that we keep saying to moms is that self-care is not selfish. It's actually quite the contrary.
It's the second anniversary of Lola&Lykke.
Yes.
And you're celebrating this actually with Mama Wellness Week. I guess it would be a good place to start. Could you tell us about the start of your company? What's the story behind it? And what for you have been the biggest milestones since?
Can't believe it's been nearly 2 years in business already. But the idea for the business was born from our own experiences of becoming moms. And our experiences of the physical effects of pregnancy, and we both suffered with fairly severe complications after birth, and noticed that sort of healing from pregnancy and childbirth wasn't as easy as anticipated.
Yes.
And during this time of a fairly intense sort of mental and physical experience, we felt that help was still difficult to find. So we wanted to create a company and support other moms so that we could help them feel less alone with the changes that are happening in their mind and body.
What would you consider are the biggest milestones you've had?
There's been quite a few. I think one of the first big milestones was getting our products into one of the best maternity retailers in Helsinki, just 3 months after we launched the business. So that was a fantastic reception got for the products so soon after starting the business. And then about 6 months after starting the business, we managed to secure Finnish government funding for growing the business internationally. So that was a real kind of big stepping stone into building a global brand out of Lola&Lykke that we had a vision for from the start. And with that project, we were able to test certain European markets, and for instance, managed to gain a foothold in the Irish market with that. And some other big ones have been then further on securing the largest Nordic retailer for maternity products called Jolly Room. And in general, just the partnerships that we've built with people we collaborate with, and getting the business to a point where we're trusted by maternity healthcare experts. So that's a fantastic feedback for knowing that we're doing something right. One of our core messages that we keep saying to moms is that self-care is not selfish. It's actually quite the contrary. You become a better parent if you invest in yourself, and you can give better care to your children if you're feeling well yourself. And then also we'd like to kind of remind moms that although quite often all these different pregnancy and postpartum symptoms are considered the norm, that you just, to some extent, you have to suffer through. You have back pains and other symptoms, etc. We want to remind moms that no, you don't have to suffer through, but there are things that you can do to alleviate the symptoms, and you can help yourself feel better. Another important topic for us that we like to talk about a lot is post-natal recovery in general. How we feel that it's been somewhat overlooked, but it's a big part of the process, and it requires a long healing process, and it's not something that happens overnight.
I'd like to read out something that you have stated in regarding Mom Wellness Week. Culture has a way of telling moms that they need to sacrifice themselves for the child, that the mom should be all giving and nurturing, but we all know that this model is hard to sustain. the reality is that the process of recovering and rebuilding from birth is just as important as the pregnancy itself.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really, really important. And I think we can all kind of agree that when the baby is born, after that point, a lot of the focus goes on the baby, and that's including from the mom herself. So there's an oversight of how the mom is doing in all of that. And this is despite the fact that the mom is going through a major physical upheaval, major life change, emotional, mental roller coaster from kind of, becoming a mom and looking after a baby.
Yeah.
So we want to kind of draw attention back to the mom in all of this, because we feel that the process of or the fourth trimester, the immediate postnatal period is as important for the mom as it is for the baby, and the mom requires as much support and guidance during that time than the baby does. And also we want to kind of say that what I said before, when you invest in yourself, it's not it's not taken away from anybody, but quite the contrary, it makes you feel better and become a better parent.
COVID-19 pandemic has been a game changer for the world and has also highlighted the need to mobilize healthcare systems to strengthen the response to COVID-19. But there was a recent Guardian article that showed that perhaps maternal care or caring for mothers giving birth has been neglected. The Guardian said this is the new reality for expectant and new mothers in many countries. As experts warn that the coronavirus outbreak is leading to an infringement of women's birth rights. I'd like to get your thoughts about this.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really tricky subject for sure. It's been an incredibly tough spring for everybody, and in particular expecting moms with all the uncertainty. And it is true, I agree that there's been a fine line between protecting mothers' birth rights and ensuring safety. So I do feel that in the process, mothers' birth rights have been sort of in jeopardy at times due to different measures that have been put in place. But I suppose at the same time, you have to kind of remind yourself that this is new for all of us and nobody really knows what they're doing, and everybody is trying to do their best, including maternity healthcare workers. I would like to say and think that, I'm pretty sure that these are temporary measures alone, so that we will get back to a new normal after the pandemic. And there's already been positive signs about things getting back to normal. Thankfully, we're getting closer to normal again, and I'm hoping that we'll get there in other countries as well.
Yeah.
And after this, nobody knows what the next few years hold, but at least, we need to learn from this experience and, how stressful it has been for moms. And so I think that the new normal now has to consist of what is a balance between ensuring safety whilst giving birth and your birth rights. It is so important to have somebody there with you. That I do sincerely hope that we don't have to do things like this again. And I think moms can join the dialogue by, just expressing their concerns to their healthcare workers, being open about their concerns. And I think there's been great sort of action taken from maternity healthcare workers during this time. We've been pressing for birth rights, and we've been there supporting moms. Moving forward is definitely, best done jointly with moms, talking to the healthcare workers, and then put in place rules and clear rules how to operate in the future.
This seems to be like a holistic brand, because it's not just products for mothers, but it's almost like an end-to-end journey, and I think that's fantastic. You're a Finnish company. It's very interesting because Finland also has its own, branding, because Finland is becoming a global landmark for healthcare and innovation. Maybe could you talk about that? What are the factors that have made Finland such a breeding ground for innovation, especially in healthcare?
Well, Finland in general has a very sort of healthy lifestyle in general. Finland is one of the countries in terms of quality of life. But I think some of the main factors behind making Finland a great place for innovative healthcare excellence is our high quality education and the fact that we invest in research to a really high extent. And also how the society functions in a way that everybody kind of collaborates and works together, and there's a really high level of trust in society, and that means that innovators can work with society together, and everybody knows that data is shared freely. And when you have this sort of all of these ecosystem players playing together, then I think that creates the best possible ground for innovations. I mean, jumping back to your previous question about the sort of holistic well-being service, and maybe explaining a little bit more about that. The reason we founded this business was that we felt that there was something lacking between the sort of normal maternity brands, traditional brands, and maternity healthcare, and we wanted to create something that exists in between and really promotes preventative healthcare and self-care among moms. There's been this boom on wellness in society, but it hasn't really touched parenting as directly. So we felt that there was a huge gap in the market, and we want to be the first maternity brand that combines maternity, wellness, and preventative healthcare, and really want to give moms the goals to look after themselves, whether it's with high quality products or useful information. 3 to 5 years, what we have planned for the brand, and we have big plans, and we wanted to build an international brand out of this from day one. For the next couple of years, we're focused on European growth. We're taking our brand to mainly German-speaking markets this year, but in a couple of years' time, we really want to bring it outside of the European borders as well, including, for instance, Asia. And our main focus for the next 3 to 5 years is really to collaborate closely with maternity healthcare experts, so that we can position ourselves in that middle ground very firmly, and that mothers come to rely on the support and help that we provide them. You have these time pressures, so it makes you more effective, more focused, and you can see the big picture, and you can kind of really drill in on the things that are super important. Also, I think it's made you kind of appreciate your emotional intelligence much more, and so that you're not afraid to bring emotions to the workplace, which I think is really beneficial. Becoming a mom has also, encouraged me personally to kind of go after my dreams even more than before, because just kind of, in a way, highlights the sort of how quickly life is passing by, and that you want to be a good role model for your kids. And something that we always say and discuss with my founding partner is the excitement. So it's kind of same excitement as you see in your kids doing little things that you want to bring to this, because you understand that it's from the excitement that the joy comes from. In female leaders, one of the things that they have done so fantastically well is portraying that full transparency and trust, and that is in such a critical position at a time like this. It has always been, but now it's been really kind of put on a pedestal. There's that whole kind of level of trust in all the new relationships and how we work with people and how you delegate, and how kind of you can't be afraid of letting things go, and you have to trust individuals to take things forward. Many positive things emerging from this process that has landed on us very quickly.